Hello everyone, good morning. It is Charlie. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I haven't made a video in a while, and the purpose of this video today is explaining why that is, because a couple of weeks ago it was Mental Health Awareness Week, and I was like, I'm gonna make 7 videos in 7 days, and I didn't. I think I got to 3 videos in 3 days. I give myself a pat on the back for that. That's still no small achievement. I think I got to 3 videos in 3 days, and then I stopped, and then I made an extra one, and then I completely stopped. And the reason for that is quite ironic, but I've been dealing with my own mental health crisis, and I just wanted to make a video today explaining a little bit about what's been going on with me, because I've had a few of my followers, subscribers, the people that I'm working with, clients reach out to me and ask me whether or not I'm going to be making more YouTube videos, and the answer to that is absolutely yes. This is my life's mission, my life's work. I'm absolutely passionate about the work that I'm doing around eating disorders, body image, especially bulimia, mental health, all of that stuff. It really is like, it's my thing. I'm passionate about it. I love making videos. It's really fun. I feel I'm slowly getting better at making them. It's a great thing that I really enjoy doing. However, things with me have been really fairly shit over the last few weeks, and I therefore just didn't have it in me to sit down and make videos. I didn't want to be on camera. I didn't feel inspired. I didn't feel passionate. I didn't feel enthused. I just felt terrible, really. So basically, I've come to the realization over the last week or so that I've basically been in a state of chronic stress for like years and years. My eating disorders started at age, nearly knocked my coffee over, don't want to do that. My eating disorders started at age 14, so that was really when the stress began. Both physical stress, emotional stress, and mental stress, because when you're freaking out about calories and weight all the time, like literally all the time, every single day, all day, every day, every breath you take, you're thinking about food and calories and doing little mental arithmetic sums in your head, and freaking out when you step on the scales and you've like gone up half a pound since the day before, and rolling around on the floor and screaming and crying and all of that fun stuff. It's stressful, and it takes a toll on your nervous it takes a toll on your nervous system, and it takes a toll on your hormonal system, your endocrine system, and it just fucks things up. Sorry, it's quite early in the morning here. I just looked at my imaginary watch. I'm not sure what time it is, but it's early. So I realized I've been in this state of chronic stress since about age 13, when my eating disorder started, really perpetuated and worsened by the fact that when I became bulimic, I was spending like £100 a day on food, and thus ran up thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds of credit card bills, which I still have. Yay, debt. I've had that hanging over me for about the last 7 years. Every month I only get salary, I work hard, I always have done. I've never not had a job, I've never earned bad money. I've always been pretty successful at the exploits I have decided to pursue, but when you are paying more than your rent each month in credit card bills, it can be stressful and difficult to cover your expenses. So that's been a massive source of stress. I don't know, recently things all came to a head, and I just got swallowed up by tons and tons and tons of anxiety. I think some of that was probably a result of everything that's going on in the collective unconscious. I don't know how into this like woo-woo stuff you are, the people watching this right now, but due to coronavirus, a lot of people have been locked in their houses, they've lost their jobs, they're not sure how they're going to feed their families. All of that negativity, that negative energy, that anxiety, that worry is basically like swirling around in the collective unconscious, in the quantum field around us, and each and every one of us are susceptible to that, whether we know it and like it or not. So yeah, I just have been going through crazy amounts of stress. I had a few triggers come up in my personal life, which I won't go into detail on right now. But basically, this chronic state of stress has led to some pretty crazy hormonal imbalances in my system. I've always suffered from PMS and occasionally from PMDD. So PMS is premenstrual syndrome. Things like weight gain before your period, feeling a bit blue, getting swollen boobs and sore boobs before your period. That's PMS, and normally PMS starts between 4 days and 10 days before your period. Most women experience PMS at some point in their life to some extent. It's not something that we should have to experience as women, as far as my research and understanding goes. But it is something that affects most of us these days. And then occasionally I've also suffered from PMDD, which is premenstrual dysphoric disorder. Premenstrual dysphoric disorder is basically PMS times 100. So rather than just feeling a bit blue and being a bit more angsty and prone to getting angry and frustrated, it's like intense feelings of depression, just complete and utter apathy and lethargy and not wanting to get out of bed and do anything, like extreme depression. Myself, like over the last month or so, I quickly piled on like 6 kilograms in weight, and I wasn't eating anything different to my usual diet. I exercise every day, I practice yoga, I go to the gym, I'm active. So there was no reason for this crazy weight gain. And if I have to be honest, that was one of the reasons why I didn't want to sit down on camera, was because I'd suddenly piled on 6 kilos seemingly overnight. And I, as someone who had an eating disorder pretty severely for over half of my life, just didn't feel like sitting down on camera and staring at my face and then putting my face on the internet, because I didn't look like myself. My face was swollen, puffy, very round. It was just, 6 kilos is a lot. I am 5'7". I carry my weight fairly well. But yeah, it was very visible, and I just didn't feel up to being on camera at that time. So yeah, I've been going through PMDD, severe depression, anxiety, like crazy anxiety. I would wake up and my heart would be like thumping against my chest. I would be shaking. I wouldn't know why I was anxious. I would just know that I felt anxious. Coupled with the depression, absolute feelings of lethargy, like I had zero energy and enthusiasm for anything. I just felt fucking terrible. And I felt that way for probably about 2 weeks. It was creeping in during the time when I was making the YouTube videos for Mental Health Awareness Week. I wasn't feeling too good, but then it seemed to be going like this, like getting a bit worse, and then it just went and all of a sudden I was like sat in my house looking out the window behind me like, how high is that? Would I die if I jumped out? Like, yeah, suicidal feelings coming in. Like, I didn't want to live feeling like that anymore. And suicidal feelings are quite honestly something I've struggled with my entire life, on and off. It's getting better. I have these thoughts less and less. But yeah, when I'm feeling really bad, I'm definitely prone to suicidal type thinking. So yeah, things were really, really rough, and I just didn't feel up to making a video. I actually had my progesterone and estrogen levels tested at the hospital, and I would recommend anyone who's experiencing PMS, PMDD, any kind of hormonal disturbance, to go and have this done. There is apparently a specific time in your cycle when you're meant to have this done. I was just super desperate, and I was driving to the gym one day and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go and have this blood test done. And I didn't plan it. I'm still not aware of when in your cycle you should have the blood test done. So go and research that myself. But my dear friend Miriam, who works with women on things like PMS, menstrual cycles, periods, period pain, etc., I will link her information down below because she's amazing and she's so knowledgeable. But she suggested that I went to have my levels checked. And I did, and they came back, and I am very, very low in progesterone, and relatively fairly high in estrogen. So I've taken a kind of a multi-pronged approach at attacking this. I've bought some herbal supplements, I've bought some Dong Quai, I've bought some Vitex, all of these things I was taking in the past to manage the PMS and the PMDD, because like I say, it's something I've suffered from for years and years and years. But due to the lovely coronavirus, packages couldn't make it into Thailand, and so I was without my supplements that I basically depend upon for a couple of months, in addition to being under a lot of financial and work pressure, so things kind of went to shit. So yeah, I've been taking a multi-pronged approach at this. Vitex is really good, which is also known as chasteberry or Agnus castus. Dong Quai is also very good. Black cohosh, I've been taking all of these things. Dandelion's good for the water retention. And I am also having bioresonance therapy. I will do a whole other video about bioresonance because it deserves a video in and of itself about it. But things do seem to be shifting. I've lost 3 kilos in about 7 days, and I haven't changed my diet. I haven't been exercising more. I've been doing everything as normal. I knew it was water weight. I could tell it was water weight because my fingers were swollen and I couldn't get any of my rings on or off. So yeah, I basically spent the best part of 5 days pissing. Seriously, I was peeing all the time. So 3 kilos of the 6 kilos of water weight that I stacked on have come off. I'm feeling a lot better in that regard, a lot more like, okay, I'm finally looking a bit more like myself again, feeling more like myself. The depression is lifting, the anxiety is definitely still there. I still wake up with a bit of anxiety in the morning, but it's not as intense, and it does tend to go away as the morning continues rather than just snowball and get worse as it was doing. One of the biggest problems about being someone who's aware of your health and like the mind-body connection is that, so taking stress, for example, is that if you're aware that stress makes you unhealthy, and you're feeling stressed, you are then going to be not only stressing about the thing that is making you stress in your life, like money or work or love or whatever, but you're also going to be stressing about the fact that you're stressed and the impact that that has on your health. So it's like, I get stressed and I worry and I have anxiety due to stimulus, things, events in my personal life, and that impacts my health. And then I'm very aware that that's impacting my health. So it's like, I'm stressed because I'm damaging my health, and I'm damaging my health because I'm stressed. It's like this really vicious cycle that is very difficult to get out of. Things like meditation, pranayama, breathwork practices, yoga, going to the gym, all of these things are really important in managing my own stress responses. I very much pay attention to the way that I'm breathing all day. Your breath and the manner in which you breathe has huge impacts on your autonomic nervous system, on your physiology, and all of these things then in turn affect your endocrine system, the hormones that are going through your body. You can literally manipulate your autonomic nervous system and your physiology to increase certain hormones like serotonin, dopamine, DHEA, and decrease other hormones that you might want to switch off, things like adrenaline and cortisol. So yeah, I pay big attention to my breathing all of the time, every day, and make sure that I do things like meditation every day and Tai Chi and yoga, and I go to the gym. I'm pretty anal and regimented about these practices, and I always say that my main job in life is managing my mental health and everything else is secondary. And that is something that I stand by. My main priority is every day are my practices, and yeah, everything else is secondary, because if I don't have my mental health, I don't have my physical health, and if you don't have your physical health, then you don't have anything, and you're no use to anyone, and you can't make videos. So yeah, I would like to point out also that I strongly believe, and I just inherently, intuitively, and it doesn't even take intuition, it's just obvious, know that my 14-year severe eating disorder is probably also largely to blame for my hormonal imbalances. I've never actually been diagnosed as hypo that is, but I do have a shit ton of symptoms of hypothyroidism. And last year when I was in the UK, I had a hair mineral test, and the lady who analysed the results of my hair mineral test said it looked very likely, due to things like the large amount of calcium deposits in ratio to blah blah blah, something else. She said it looked very likely that I was hypothyroid, and I do have many of the characteristics of hypothyroidism. Occasionally it flares up and I'm unable to get out of bed for like a week. So the long-term effects of eating disorders, people, are huge. They are devastating. They are costing me lots and lots and lots of money that I could be spending on other things, like paying back my credit card bills. So if you're watching this and you're like teetering on the edge of an eating disorder, or you think you're starting to develop a problem, like seriously, I don't know whether you're starving yourself or whether you're thinking that puking is a good idea. I'm telling you, it ain't worth it, because eventually when you recover from this shit, and you have to recover because otherwise you will die or you will stay sick your whole life, when you recover, you are going to be feeling the consequences of your actions for years and years and years to come, and that is really quite depressing. I try not to let myself sink into periods of regret and like, fuck, why did I do that for all those years? Because it's unhelpful and it's pointless. I did that for all those years, and here I am just having to deal with the consequences. There is no point in regretting and kicking myself. However, it's not pleasant, and actually quite depressing how much damage I've done to my body that was completely unnecessary, and I have no idea what my life would be like if I hadn't spent all those years fucking myself up in the quest to be skinny. Maybe I'd be skinnier than I am now anyway, I damaged my thyroid so much, and I'm not sure what my natural body shape is. Maybe it's this. Maybe I would be a slimmer person, and I wouldn't have spent all those years and years and years obsessing and puking and starving and just destroying my life in all these different ways, and racking up loads of debt, which is a real issue in these times. So yeah, it's not worth it, people. Eating disorders, although at the time, like, I remember my doctors and like psychiatrists, no, not psychiatrists, they're the ones that give you pills, I didn't see them. I remember doctors and psychotherapists, that's the one, and my mum saying, think about all the damage you're doing to your health, your body, you're damaging your health. I was like, no, I'm not, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. I just want to be skinny. And at the time, like, yeah, my hair was falling out and I was cold all the time and I was depressed and I felt like shit. But other than that, I didn't really see or experience any other like health problems, and I guess I just hadn't developed the knowledge of things like our hormonal system and how much of a delicate balance it is. Like, if one of your hormones is knocked out of whack for some reason, it is then going to have just a domino effect on everything else. It's like, it's such an intricate and interconnected and interrelated system, that everything affects everything else. And yeah, it takes a long time and a lot of work and measures in order to mend things like our hormonal system. And it's costing me lots of time, money, effort, days wasted spent in bed because I'm exhausted and I have no energy or I'm depressed. Yeah, it's work, and it's unnecessary work. So if you at the moment are watching this and you are like teetering on the brink, or you're thinking that developing an eating disorder like anorexia or bulimia is a good idea because then you're going to get skinny as fuck, in the long run, like, you might get skinny as fuck in the short term, but in the long run you're going to have to put that weight back on anyway, sorry to say, because otherwise you die, and you are just setting yourself up for years and years and years of bullshit. That's it for today. I'm always like, when I'm thinking about these videos, generally when I'm driving my motorbike, I'm like, I'm gonna make a video. Like, okay, I'm gonna hop on camera. It's gonna be like 2 minutes. 22 minutes later, here we are. But I hope this has been helpful. I hope it's relatable. I am gonna get back into making more regular content about bulimia, eating disorders, body image, self-esteem, all this stuff. It's just, I needed to give myself a bit of a break. In fact, it wasn't that I needed to give myself a bit of a break. It was like, I just couldn't. I was not in the headspace to be making videos. But now, yeah, things are getting a lot better. I'm going upwards. The trajectory of healing is looking good. I will be making a video about my experience with bioresonance because I think it's amazing. Although I've only been having it for 1 week, so yeah, I think that video will be in a couple of weeks' time. If there's any more content that you would like to see me make, please leave a comment down below. I logged into my YouTube account the other day from my phone and I saw a bunch of comments and I was like, oh, I hadn't responded to them, so I'm going to go through and do that now. But I do respond to each and every comment. It's just that the emails saying so-and-so commented on your video, they go to my spam or like a promotions box or whatever, and I don't always see them. But yeah, I do respond to every comment, every message I get from people, of which I'm getting more and more, which is amazing. So yeah, if you need any help, any support, any advice, don't be afraid to reach out. The link to my website is down below, also the link to my Instagram. Subscribe to my channel for more amazing content from yours truly. And I also have a Facebook group for bulimia sufferers. I'm trying as much as I can to get a conversation going in that group. It's proving a little bit of a challenge, but I believe as more and more people join, it's going to become more and more of a community. And I am also running weekly, although last week we had a bit of a Zoom fail, but I am planning and aiming to run weekly group sessions for people who are struggling with eating disorders. I do one-on-one individual coaching work with people struggling with eating disorders. Mainly my clients are bulimic, and that is paid work, but these sessions are completely free to join. So yeah, if you are interested in those, the best thing to do is to join the Facebook group. Add me on Facebook, shoot me a message, and I will send you the Zoom link for those groups, and I will send you the date and time. At the moment, they've been taking place like in Thai time. So I'm in Thailand, and they've been happening at 5 p.m. Thai time, which hasn't permitted anyone from the States to attend because it's like super middle of the night over there. But at some point I'm going to be doing one in the morning in my time, which will be evening stateside time. So hopefully you guys in the States can attend. The group is growing and growing. I think I have about 10 people now. So yeah, it's amazing. People from all over the world coming together to support each other. Yes. Okay, that's it from me. 25 minutes now. Bye bye.